on addressing
time has
issues
expired.
of children.
Visitor Sam Lotu-Iiga.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. Thanks for the opportunity. I thought that guy would be speaking until 7 tonight, but I thank him for his contribution. And I just want to say it's a pleasure, sir, to rise to speak on this, the second reading of the Families Commission Amendment Bill. And I want to just thank the Minister first, the Honourable Paula Bennett. Yesterday we acknowledged her role, her legacy in terms of the welfare reforms that she's brought to this Parliament that will have a huge positive impact on our country. And today we're going to acknowledge her contribution in terms of this legislation, sir, because the Families Commission is about to undergo a welcome transformation. And the reason it is, sir, is that it will be transformed because this government, this national government, believes in better, more effective public services. And what does that mean? What are we going to do? Well, the Minister, Chester Burrows, touched on it earlier. We're restructuring the Commission because this will see their core activities streamlined into a leaner, more focused structure. It will be headed by a single commissioner, and the search for that single commissioner is going on as we speak, and the number of commissioners will go down from the original number of 7. That's right, sir, less bureaucracy in one foul swoop. It will be governed by a board, and that will include the board, Professor Sir Peter Gluckman. We'll also have public sector, philanthropic, business representatives, and it will give credible community input. And Asnati Taylor, she knows this. It will provide community input in the direction of an important entity in our government. And for the benefit of the Parliament, yesterday we had the financial review of the Families Commission, and we had some valuable contributions by the acting chairman and the acting CEO, as well as Sir Peter, who turned up to elaborate on the future of this commission. Now, the commission, it will also commission and contract social sector research on topics referred by government. And I know my colleague, Sir William Seal, referred to the lack of independence, but sir, it really is important. It's important that some of the research done actually becomes implemented and it becomes part of the budget setting process in government, so those things can make a difference to people out in our communities. It's no point having research sit on a shelf in a Wellington office of some policy analyst in one of the government departments. It's really important, sir, it's really important that we have this type of research that is out in the open, read by many, distributed across many sectors, and implemented by those that are able to do the implementation, which include government officials and politicians alike. So the Commission will take a new role, providing for independent monitoring, evaluation and research to measure the effectiveness of initiatives across our social sector. And Labor dealt this, but we were left in no doubt on this side of the House by the testimony of Sir Peter Gluckman yesterday at the Financial Review that it is about independence, it's about evidence-based research that will be implemented in our communities through policy. So funding will be reduced from $32 million over 4 years to $28 million, and $14 million will be reprioritised for the Social Policy Evaluation Research Unit, which some people call Superu. Sir, I just want to touch on, before I finish my contribution tonight, on the recommendations from our Select Committee, which the Minister also alluded to. And I want to thank the contributions of all those in the House, on the committee, I should say, Dr Prasad and those across the aisle, but also my colleagues like Alfred Naru and Melissa Lee, who's the Deputy Chair, and the other members of our committee, because even though there were a small number of submitters, there were 11, we actually gleaned quite a bit of feedback, and we made certain adjustments. And also I want to acknowledge our officials and our Parliamentary Council and our clerks, who also were part of the team, if you like, that brought these recommendations back to the House. So I want to acknowledge them, and they're with us here tonight. So just really quickly, we are amending Clause 11, and it ensures that the Social Sciences Expert Panel would comprise a minimum of 4 members, a minimum of 4 members. I know he criticised the figure, but that it is a minimum of 4 members, and we changed it to allow for a degree of flexibility to appoint additional members if necessary, if required. So we've allowed for that degree of flexibility in our recommendations. Sir, it's also about amending Clause 11, which would ensure that the panel would come under appropriate provisions pertaining to the appointment and payment of members, conflicts of interest, indemnities and insurance. And that's another just an important addition to the bill as presented to the House in the first reading. The Minister referred to amending Clause 7, and it really is about correcting the misconception that the Commission will merely just identify opportunities for evaluation and research. They will be actively identifying these opportunities, and I think that's an important consideration when we move forward in terms of those subjects that will be identified. Yesterday they went through some of those. Some of it involved improving the achievement levels of Māori and Pacific children, and there were a whole host of these subjects that they are seeing as priorities going forward. So if we're going to make a difference for the families in this country, Aotearoa New Zealand, who are struggling, we need to be able to invest in interventions that we know will work. And the body of evidence that will come out of this Commission will allow policymakers, service providers, politicians and anyone wanting to invest in our social services to make better, more informed decisions. It's about having the evidence base, as Sir Peter Gluckman referred to in our Commission review yesterday, financial review yesterday. It's about those evidence-based interventions that produce better long-term outcomes for our families, our communities and ultimately our nation. And that's why I support this bill, sir.
Great speech. Rajan Prasad.